Yeah, welcome once again to your most amazing podcast, Epistles with Akolade. And here again, I'm going to reiterate we believe that every life is a story. God is writing amazing letters and passing messages through each and every life. And today we have with me an amazing man, an amazing man. He happens to be the CEO of the studio where we are shooting from, a businessman, a trainer, a teacher, a believer, a husband, a father, an amazing man. We have with me here today Mr. David Adelakun.
Thank you so much.
Good evening,
Thank
sir.
you for having me. I'm glad to be here and to share
Well,
my own story.
thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's a pleasure, honestly.
I'm happy to be here.
All right, I'm not getting to too much personal stuff, but I would just want you to walk us down, your journey. I know you are one of the people I actually personally look up to when it comes to business, and I've asked a couple of questions. And today's discussion is going to answer quite a lot of questions for a lot of young people like us. But I want you to take us through your journey, how you started with this very reputable brand here in the state.
Okay, it's a long story, but I think I'll just try and summarize in how it concerns this brand.
Okay.
Okay, so I started business early. I don't know, should I still say I relate to family?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started business. My mom introduced us to business very early.
Wow.
So in my GS2, I started selling chocolates in school.
Wow.
So we started that early.
I didn't even know that.
Okay, so yeah, early. And yeah, so fast forward to uni. In fast forward to SS2, I joined the media unit in church.
Oh, okay.
So we used to do videos and stuff for church. University 200 level. Only GS2, SS2, 200 level. I'm just okay. So
Pattern.
200 level. I started photography. So there was somebody that I used to follow back then in school just to assist because I liked photography. I was already doing video, but I was doing photography.
Okay.
So I used to follow him around. And then December of 200 level, that's first semester, I took my December gift. My mom gave me a gift. My dad gave us Christmas money. Took the money, bought a camera. Yes, and so that's how photography started for me.
Wow.
But then as the brand, I opened the brand up in 2017. I opened the business up in 2017.
Wow.
But the fact, something that happened in school was person I was following around for photography was doing it just for hobby's sake, right? They just like taking pictures and, there were beautiful girls in school then and dressed well. Covenant University used to dress well.
Yeah.
And so it was something that was just fun to do and people loved the pictures. But because of my own business background, in fact, in my 100 level, I sold shoes, flame soles. So I've been in business since just to. So I couldn't marry the fact that, okay, this guy was so talented, giving it so much time, because I saw the effort to put it, because I was
He was
assistant.
also edit.
Yeah, he was editing. I mean, I wouldn't be there when he's editing, but just take a picture at no cost.
Wow.
So I was like, you need your balance. Why would I do all this work? So I introduced the business side. In fact, I was one of the photographers in Covenant University, 2013-ish, 12, 13, that started charging for pictures, because it didn't make sense to me. So that's how I started. And then fast forward to 2017, started to make it official. I didn't do photography for like 2 years. I was working in a TV station. And so I decided after that, I wanted to open a photography business. So we train people, take pictures, and create memories for people as well. That's how I started for.
Awesome. Really, I would say that I'm not even trying to flatter you now. You're one of my most best. You are one of the best photographers I've met. For those people that do not know, I'm hoping this podcast.
It's not easy because there are many photographers. So when you say I'm the best,
no. Honestly, for people that don't know, I hope this podcast will blow. This man actually took Bishop Oyedepo on his 70th birthday. Those pictures that were dazzling online.
One of my best pictures.
I felt so proud that I actually know the person that took those pictures.
I was proud too.
But think about it. That was since 2012, 13-ish.
Yes.
That's about roughly 13 years. 12, 13, no, 13, 14.
13, 14
2015
years.
Now is 10 years.
13
years.
About 13
wow.
years,
Okay. Oh, awesome. All right. I know your business, your brand is Taiwo Adelakun photography. I know you as David Adelakun.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, what's the inspiration behind?
Okay, so there's no inspiration. In fact, if I could change something, I would have changed it. But I started in school.
Okay.
And in school, I was using my dad's first name and surname as my compound surname.
Oh,
so if you check all my documents and certificates, you see David Taiwo Adelakun.
Oh wow.
I think when I said photography, some of my friends, birthday, we're just talking about we were talking about my pictures, how dope it was. When I look at videos, they're not dope. By the time they were hyping it and everything.
No, of course, you look at some of the things you've done in the past and like, I did
You know,
this.
and they were hyping those videos and like, we need to give it a name, you know. Dap. They said, when they said, no, it's Tap. Tap. You know, that's how they started, you know. And so that's how the name stuck. Wow. You know, in fact, the first Topware to Paris is when I designed my logo. Shout out to you, wherever you are. I'm not spoken to him in more than 10 years now.
Wow.
The logo we used to use is the logo I'm using now.
Wow.
So apparently about maybe 2019 or so, somebody that I used to know in school was passing. He came to Ibadan to do something and saw the logo.
The same logo.
So I think it clicked. So he said it turned. Wow. I came back and then he found us inside.
Oh my!
And I'm like, how would you know? He just said, I saw that logo. I saw that logo. Right? I said, it might be you, but let me just check.
Wow, that was awesome. That means your work actually left an indelible mark in the hearts of a lot of people. That means you were that good at that time.
Well,
don't be humble.
Well, we thank God for the things that we're able to do at the time.
Awesome. All right. So I want to ask. So in starting your business, because today's episode is basically about how parents can be instrumental in pushing their children forward and helping them get started. And I think it's very, very important in today's Nigeria, because of course we are in Nigeria right now, and you see that it is. I know a lot of parents that they withdraw support when secondary school is done. The moment the child is done with secondary school, they just withdraw support. Some others when they're done with their first degree. But I think we all know that the dynamics actually have changed. So first of all, let's speak to that. Let's zoom in on your own experience first. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you decided to start out in 2017, did you have some push from your parents? Were there? You already spoke about how your mom, got you started. Inspired you to start in GSS too. All right. So, what was the parental influence in starting up the brand that we know today?
Okay. So, maybe we'll get to that, but I believe that God placed us in families for a reason, and most of the time is to create nurturing, to create discipleship, and the job never really ends until the vision that God gave the patriarch is fulfilled. Right? The person that started the family, right? So I think one of the earliest things I learned from my parents was hard work, like seeing them go to work regularly. In fact, we can't. My brother, when I say William, but just to my brother, we can't be somewhere and there's no table. Like we grew up seeing my dad always have a home office. So I remember many years when we came out, like maybe 2 years after when we came out of school, and we visited some of our friends. And I remember one house, new house, and we went around, massive house, beautiful house, and we asked our friend, so where's the office? The guy was like, office? No, this is not our office, this is our house.
Oh, he didn't understand, he didn't click.
Yeah, so for us, that's when we now like, you guys are the weird ones. This is house.
Exactly, every house we have an office.
That's how we thought it was, like everybody just, like you have a place where you have to, do some work and writing down and things like that. So yes, I think those values were passed on earlier on. But now financially too, for instance, my mom was the first person that, I told you about the December gift to get my first camera. My auntie too, shout out to auntie that added $100 for me at the time to get the camera. When I was about to start here too, the camera I was using was already old. And so they were, my mom was the person.
You got that first camera in 2013?
Yeah, 2013.
Okay.
Yes, so 2013.
So when you wanted to start in 2017,
I needed to get something better, because now I want to really commercialize it and all of that. And so it was my mom that brought in some money. I think, it was about £3,000. My camera was like £2,500. My 5D at the time. Really expensive, yeah. Okay, your pounds was not as much
as it is now.
The exchange is different. But yes, she went for administration and gave her honorarium, and that's the money she bought it from UK and brought it because that's what I said I wanted. And all of that. The building was a gift to use for a year without paying rent from a family friend. But yeah, so it was family and friends that came together. Okay, this is what I like doing. Obviously, I think one of the reasons people gave those huge gifts was because they've seen how good I was at it. This guy just says support him, maybe he will blow, that kind of thing, right? Yeah. It wasn't like an idea that had not been tested before. I'd taken pictures for years already. I remember I did the photo shoot for the family that gave me this property. I did the photo shoot for the housewarming maybe about 4 years before 2017. I've done frames for them, things like that. So when I said I wanted to open this up, I think I believe, I know God obviously touched their heart as well. I won't just say it's just my work, a skill that made them do that. But I feel like they just knew that, okay, this person might be good at it, might be successful at this if we give him a try. But yes, that support system is there and I've always been there. Even when I started, when my mom wants to give somebody something, she gifted them a photo shoot with me.
Wow.
So if she's an amazing businesswoman, let me just put it that way. So if she wanted to give somebody maybe 25,000, instead of just like giving 25,000 or buying something worth 25,000, she's like, okay, go and do a photo shoot with my son. I'll pay for the shoot. And what did that do for me? That gave me revenue, number one.
Yes.
Also gave me clients that I can use to tell, like, say, like my portfolio. Give me added to my portfolio that, oh, I've shot this before. This kind of so it was a two-way thing for me in terms of benefits, right? And obviously they liked the output of the pictures. In fact, some people I took their pictures. I see using the pictures I took 2018 to today. You see on their Facebook. Like some of those are my those aunties and you see use those pictures. Yeah, but so that when you look back and see what she was doing, I see the benefits. Like, it was two ways. It was not just even the fact that 25,000 maybe was coming to me, but the fact that also I was getting revenue and also building my portfolio even in the early days,
and also leaving that lasting impression for them to
and tell other people about it. Yeah. So it gave me the ability to experience me. So she didn't just stop at you know something. So it has been. I don't think we'll be here without family. I think that's the only way I can say it. You know, in terms of the growth.
All right, amazing. I'm actually inspired. So at some point, so you've seen how you've said how your first camera was because of family and friends coming together. Then when you wanted to start, also mom was very instrumental in that. Now, what do you think about people and parents that maybe due to whatever the situation is, and all of that, they just say, okay, you know what, we don't have any help for you, just go ahead and also, or think about families that they take all their resources, put somebody through school, and so the moment the person is done with school, they just feel like, oh yes, we've put you up to this point, now go and make something with what you've given, with what we've given you. How practical is it in today's, in today's world, that such people will be able to bring, sorry, I don't want to use this word, return on investment, because at the end of the day, the way most parents send children to school is basically like investment. Because I want us to speak to the kind of mentality many of our parents have. Let me just share this short story. I had a colleague in school or fellow student, and when 200 level or 100 level second semester, and I heard her mom call her on the phone one day asking for money, and I couldn't even. I was so stressed, and funny enough, this person was kind of one of those people that we would judge, promiscuous and all of that, And at that moment, I understood. If the mom, a student, someone in 200, 100 level, asking her for money, would you blame her how she gets her money? So I want us to speak to parents out there, and try to bring them to the reality of, yes, I am aware that is poverty really the problem with such kinds of, family. I don't want to say families, but is poverty really the problem? How can they see that in today's world things are kind of different from the 1970s, where people had some heavy bursaries that they gave them? I heard some time ago in the 70s, in UI, most times they wouldn't even eat with their money, because every week they were stocking up for them. Some could get bursaries, they could travel out and come back and all of that. Yeah. How do we help parents begin to, or how can we even just speak to this generally? I don't know. My thoughts are all over the place, but
okay, I like to choose my battles. So trying to change somebody that has a mindset of over 30, 40, 50, 60 years, I'm not sure it's a productive venture, right? So I would rather speak to somebody starting a family now, right? To say that, first of all, let's even say that people would behave according to their belief system. Their actions will follow their ways, what they believe in. And so sometimes we cannot really blame African parents. Also, who taught them? What were they taught? Where are they coming from? You get so. But then, if you are a believer, if you're a child of God now, and you are starting a home, there's a purpose to it. Do you understand? And so if you have to be fruitful and multiply, and that you raise godly seed. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for propagation of the gospel and all of that. And so, with intentionality, you know that your job for raising a child is not an investment for your own benefit. It's an investment to the purpose that God has created that family, right? And so, I want us to see more from the people that are about to create families or are young and are creating families. Not looking at people that have done this. I doubt if you can change that one, right?
I agree with you.
So I'm like, your job is to nurture. I think I said something about there's a reason why God placed us in families. Are able to disciple these people, your children, and nurture them. And that's why I believe that your family should start from a place of vision first. And this is the job of the man of the house, right? And so if every man watching out there, if you are going to raise a family, please be in tune with God and have a vision for the family, right? And now another thing, when you have a vision for the family, you realize that the only thing, money is not the only thing you need in a vision. So some parents think that, because I don't have maybe the finances to do this, then they should just go and set up themselves, and they forget that they even have the relationships.
Yeah.
So, and this is something about having the right mindset, because if with the wrong mind, with a mindset of I have nothing, you can't produce. But the mindset that says I have something, and so that's the parable of the talents. The guy that had nothing, the guy that felt like he had nothing because he was given one, didn't use it, didn't think that one could do something. In fact, the master now told him that just put it in the bank. Like the master knew the least productive thing. Do you understand? Like that, he was saying like that's even the least like this productive thing you could have done, right? Because just felt like I can't do anything. I have nothing. People have 5, people have 2, people have 6. Me, I have 1, right? So I think it's that mindset of knowing that I have something to give this child. There are parents that would call all the callables. Yeah. Oh, my son is an engineer now. I'll call this person. I know this person went to school together, and I'll call this person. So I might not have the money to set up an engineering firm for him, but I will make sure that my network will give him enough contracts to set up. Do you understand? So it's a mindset of not just saying I've done my part. Let him prove to me. In fact, some parents let their children prove to them. They're waiting for you to prove to me you're a man now. That kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. So I believe that the vision part now allows you to okay, this is the goal. This is what God showed me. These are the things that we're going to be doing, right, in this household. What are the things we can pull together to make sure this is a reality?
All right. What you just said, I just remembered my meditation last month, and I realized that this is actually the description of poverty mindset, where people just descend into this hopelessness where they feel like, okay, because there's a lack of resources, there's a lack of options, and so they just decide not to do something. And really, I've seen that that's actually the difference between, sorry to say, each time you mention these things, people get, but that's the difference between poor people and rich people. Because when you listen to the biographies of people, you would see that there were people that they never gave into defeat. They knew how slim their chances were, they knew how limited resources were, but they were willing to try. I think that moment when people just descend into that hopelessness, they just stop innovating.
That's all. You shut down. So I tell my interns, I tell you that you're waiting for money to believe you are who God has called you to be. That's not how it works. You believe it first, and then it comes. Because when you believe it, it changes your attitude and drive towards life. You go better, you dress up better, you put a perfume on your face, you stand taller because you feel like I have something to offer this world. Not caring how much is in the account. Do you know that? And it's that energy that people in the world sees, and like, I want to work with this guy. In turn, money will not enter the account. But you are waiting for money to enter the account first. Before you start, okay, I think I'm going somewhere. I think I have something to offer my generation. You're waiting for that, but that's not how it works. That's not how so it's that thing that just drops you to I don't have anything. Nothing's working. I don't have, and you just go into that hopelessness until your attitude changes, your energy changes, the energy to life changes, your response to people change. The kind of response you give people, the way you speak to people changes, everything changes, and the results is follow.
Definitely. You remind me of so I come from let me just say Wepo, and I didn't realize.
This is a competition on poverty.
No, it's not. No, fuck you, not call us poor. Okay, because right in front of us, we had people that were living good.
Okay. So you have brick house now.
We are. At least we need to.
And your window.
Yeah, for some time.
Okay,
For some
okay.
time. But anyway, I think I think one of the blessings I received in my life was actually going to university, because meeting different people with different mindsets, the highs and the lows in the society, some people that are very privileged and for some reason they are here, just interacting with different people just opened my mind. I remember in 100 level, for instance, I would wear, just slippers, farm slippers. We didn't go to see like maybe one day I'll mention my school. But 100 level, at some point,
Was in university now.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Federal university.
I realized, no, not federal, state, but I realized that at some point I was putting on slippers. I could put on slippers to class, but then I think when leadership now started falling on me, it wasn't more like trying to prove something to the people that are following, but I just realized that wow, I have a value, I have something to give, and immediately I just decided in my head that I will not dress up this kind of way anymore. In fact, there was a time in my life where all the shirts I have were just white shirts. That's why today I still like
Yeah,
all my shirts were white shirts, because I just saw how it makes me look smart. And that was where I think I believe that something began to change inside my head.
inside you.
So I think personally, if I could scream it on top of any roof, really, nobody should descend into that thing. Lack of resources is not the end of innovation. It should not even be.
I think that's why
Money is a
the
reward
proverb
for
that
value.
says a living dog is better than a
Oh,
dead
it is.
lion.
It is. It is.
Like I might not be the but the fact that I'm alive, there's hope.
Yeah, there's hope. This discussion we have is just like our normal gist. Anytime I come around here in the studio, sometimes in the house and all of that. Again, thank you for the privilege. I didn't know I was going to make this kind of valuable friends when I moved into the city. But I know you inspired me sometimes with the story of dad, starting with nothing. And I think we should zoom in a little bit. Any part you can share, for people, I think we should just really, really emphasize that thing, not descending into hopelessness. I know that, daddy came from very humble background, without going too much into details about who he is and, all those things. But, can you just zoom into areas where, and I'm sure that his story also has inspired you, right? So and maybe you just go through history and how you started, and one of the things that still inspire you today, one of the values that still inspire you. You've spoken about hard work, right? How both of them are hardworking. But zooming into that story and how he built up to where he is, what is that inspiring aspect of his life that you would like, to share?
Okay. Yeah. So my dad is Bishop Adelakun.
Yes.
And he has been doing ministry for 36 years now.
Wow.
But church is 35. Yeah. So ministry 36 years. Church 35 is 63, 62. Sorry, 62 presently. Grew up in the village, typical village. 6 wives, 1 dad. Farm. Typical village of his dad died early, so he lived with a few family members, and then finally came to Ibadan to finish his. He did uni in Unilag. I think before he went to Unilag, he started living with his brother, his immediate. I hope I'm correct. Immediate senior, or there are 4 boys.
Usually live with somebody.
Yes, in his, but then he has moved around. He lived with different people since his dad died. So I think it was in secondary school, A levels. Yes, I'm not sure. A levels of secondary school that he gave his life to Christ.
Oh.
Right, and then uni was on fire for God, and they were in the fellowship and all of that, and that's where I would say, I think that's what, from the story it tells us, that's where the drive and transformation started from, right? Neglecting everything. So neglecting everything he had been through, right? 6 wives, people cursing you in the morning, going to work, going to school. For those of you that advocate for polygamy, good luck. Good luck. Continue using Africans. That's my topic. Yeah, so like he grew up in that kind of toxic environment. Went to a family place to stay. It tells the story about the fact that they didn't give him a bed. He was sleeping on the tiles in the kitchen.
Wow.
Couldn't watch. He wasn't allowed to watch TV with the people in the house. Many things like that. And so the shift for him came when he found Christ, and casting out devils
from school days.
Yeah, school days in Unilag, and yes, he was just passionate and burning. But then the word was transforming his life radically. And I think he said in NYC, I can't remember the pastor's name, but he was prompted to live with somebody because he said he needed a new vision of what a family is.
Yeah.
So he went to live under that pastor just to see how his husband and wife living under one roof. What is it like? How is the structure like? Because he never had that. So that's where he built. And the reason why he did that is because of the reformation of his mind from the Word of God. And so when you're looking for a miracle, my dad is a miracle that the word can change somebody radically.
For someone that grew up with his dad having 6 wives and he has stopped with one.
Do you understand? So radically, his mind is a proof that the Word of God works. Seeing the lifestyle he has chosen outside of his environment, outside of something that will come naturally to him, and choosing it and staying by it and sticking to it, and so so I say that's how he started ministry. He started working first, and then God told him to go into full-time ministry. He was an essay surveyor, and then very diligent in his work. And I forgot to say, he was very good at school as well. Obviously, most children have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
They always have to prove themselves. So he had to prove himself. Every house he lived in had to prove himself because he was not a child. He was not the son of the house. So he had to prove himself. There was what was valuable and where he was and everything. And so that's how he lived his life. And I think that built resilience in him. That built some strength in him and all of that as well. So so that's how the ministry started. It started with a Bible school at first, right? And found out, okay, these people that have been trained in Bible school, who is going to disciple them after? Or they came and who's going to disciple? And everything is history now in all the things that God has used his ministry to achieve, his life to achieve. But one of the things that always, like I said, shared one already, the fact that with his life, I can see that the Word of God works. So this Bible can shift. Like one of his scriptures is, whatever thing is born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that overcomes. But First John 5:4. And so when I look at the throwback pictures, I laugh. In fact, I've seen some. I have a drive for it because it's like, I see the guy. You are broke. Which confidence is this that you have? It was the confidence in the Word of God. Though your beginning be small.
Yeah.
Job 8:7. Sorry. Though your beginning be small, your latter end shall surely increase. And
I heard him quote it.
You get like, and so now when you hear him quote it, but then when you look at throwback and you remember how he's saying it, that's what he has been saying. Those two scriptures, you tell you that you cannot leave him. You get, and that's what he has been saying, and that's how when his quote, because it's not so that time you wear coats. funny things like what you're saying now, like you just had change your outfit because you just believe that there's something to my life, there's importance to my life and all that. And I think and also that's the testimony of his mentor Bishop, because I heard one of his documentaries was saying that when he gave that to Christ, he would look in front of the mirror before going out and say, "Can a king dress like this? Can a king?" And then you look and say, "It's a mind shift." Right. In fact, when I train my interns, we have something called mind renewal class.
Okay.
It's a section of our training is mind renewal. Because I
so
believe
it's beyond photography.
Because I believe that the output,
you all need to come to Taiwan.
The output is first here. Yeah. This one controls every other thing. That's what I'm saying. Do you know that? Fine, I don't have his background, but I know that okay, if this can be created, I just believe in the Word of God. I know. Do you know? I'm glad to be a seed of such a man, such awesome. A man that the Word of God can change.
Awesome, and we thank God for also gleaning from the seed in you, because again, whenever you get to share about stuff, I see the insight that you come with, and I know it must be from your background, obviously. I want to ask, so as regards his work ethics, right? What are those things that you see in your dad? Because I know every son, especially the first, they pick a lot of things from their parents, from their dad especially. So what are those things that guide his work ethics, apart from the heritage of the word, which is the most important thing that you have? Yeah. So, but what about his work ethics and mom's work ethics that you see reflected in how you carry out business and how you do it?
Okay, so one of the things I would say is consistency. And so my dad would say, ministry is not a marathon. And ministry is not a sprint. It's not a 100-meter sprint. It's a marathon. And so the approach is different. So for instance, when I'm starting a business idea with business, I'm not doing it like, and maybe it has its plus and minus, but I'm not doing it like, I'm doing like this thing is going to be here 10 years from now, 15 years from now. What are the most valuable things now? So if I have 10 million naira to spend in capital, I might not spend 8 million naira on advertising. I might keep 3 million naira for salaries for the next 1 year. I would maybe take care of my salaries in 1 year. So the mindset is different.
To make sure the business keeps
running, even if revenue doesn't come in. Yeah. And so it's a different mindset when I'm not here just to for a short time, have a good time. I'm here for a short time. So there's a different approach to it. So that's also one thing he says, and I've seen it a lot. Like, and one of the things you see my dad now, in terms of landed property, is the portfolio is large, it's huge, right? Because he's always thinking that long. Do you get some of the things that maybe you could have spent money on at the earlier times? He didn't do that because of that mindset. I'm here for a long time. This thing is marathon. This thing, I'm not reaching it in the next 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, and I think maybe it's also an Ibadan thing. Like, so I tell people that in IB doesn't really care about glamour and all those things, right? It's the substance at the end of the day. Glamour is not bad because you need to brand something to invite people to it. But if you're doing business in Ibadan, for instance, you must be ready to stay a while before people start to recognize you. You come and bring, I don't care how much budget you have of advertising budget, bring 50 million, pay it everywhere red. People don't look at you. They visit you once, maybe not come back again. But then, if that business is there in the next 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, the customer base you would have. But now, have you spent all the money that will make you? Some businesses, they just gas out. 2 years after, you're like, we can't pay salaries again, guys. Let's close this thing down. The rate at which you're expecting revenue is not coming in because you've put in such a large amount of money, maybe in marketing, for instance, and you didn't do it at the long haul. So some of those things are things I now apply in business. When I see how he's very cautious of what they spend money on. Is this thing a marathon thing, or is it just to gather people, or something that would have a lasting effect in the lives of people? So yes, I say that's a very huge part of it. And second thing is contentment. I learned that from him. In fact, I can't remember the first day somebody told me I'm just a contented guy. I can't forget the day somebody said it, and I've never really paid meaning to that word. Like maybe I think a year after school. But towards the end of my life, I went to a job in Abuja, and I was with a friend, Elijah, and I don't know what we're talking about. Set up, don't worry, you're just a content guy. And so that's like later on I was thinking about something. I just think back on conversations I've had, and I said, okay, what does that mean? What is it? And I realized, okay, it's from him. They're not him and my, they're not in competition with anybody. They're not saying, oh, this must happen. In fact, funny, when I was going to university, most of his friends it was already like 15, 20 years in ministry. Maybe about 20 years. And then most of his friends were like, sending their children outside the country. Know that. And he didn't just have the leading sense outside the country. And secondly, financially, he was investing in a lot of things in the ministry. And knew the cost of doing that. And so he didn't mind not doing what everybody was doing. Was he wrong to send us? No. But later on, for me, I'm happy I didn't go. In fact, we were in the car in US when I said this to him. And I was just looking around the country and I was like, Dad, thank you for not bringing me here at the time you brought me here. Because I didn't know anything. The things I now, my convictions, the things I know about the US, is far different than the 16-year-old me that went into university. Yes, I'm grateful for that they have that contentment, not going to anybody, just doing what God asks them to do. They'll do it at their pace according to what they can afford, and they're enjoying their lives. And they've grown from step and level to level.
All right. Finally, I just want to ask, this has been insightful so far. Now, what is the place of parents and creating an enabling environment for their children to grow, even at home? There's this expectation that parents have that, the moment you cross secondary school, you cross an institution, you should be out of the house already. Some parents, right, you should be out of the house already doing something and all of that. But when you consider the economy right now and a lot of other factors, you would see that sometimes it's dangerous for a school leaver to go and start out, renting a house, having such, because imagine someone is earning maybe 150K. The average house rent is like maybe Well, if you are living in one of the terrible, maybe 250, 300, right? And you have other things,
Yeah,
how
so
about transport and all. So for some people, it's not just practical for them to even start outside the home. But then, where is the place of parents understanding that sometimes children, they still need to be there? You already mentioned it, that they should have, every family should have a vision, right? And they should be willing to stay until that vision is fulfilled. The vision that the father has, the father should be willing to stay and to keep on and to hold on till that thing is done. Then I infer that then, only then can someone say that they've been successful in parenting. So where's the place of parents creating an enabling environment, in the home, where an individual always knows that no matter what happens, I still have a place. I'm growing, business deals with people. They know that the worst thing, they just know that they still have a place to go. So can we zone into the importance of that?
for a family that has a vision, it is important. But a family that doesn't have a vision, um, the father and mother might just be looking for bragging rights. Sometimes our parents just want to say, "Well, I've done my job. My son is doing well." So that when they're circle of their friends, they're like, "Oh, my son is doing well," right? Not caring, like what you said, the example of your friend that was in 200 level, and the mother is, so that kind of person, not even caring what the girl is doing. So far, she's sorted. You get, it's fine, but I don't know what the story of her mom. Where's the mom coming from? So as well. Also, parents will also talk from what they've been through. So some parents left home early.
Yeah.
You get, but the timing is different
Yeah.
in the sense that I think I saw something on social media where secular music at the time were preaching good values.
Yeah, I listen to Ebenezer Obey
The Obey and
tomorrow.
co.
Yeah.
The culture, the popular culture was even just work hard,
Be
kawe,
contented,
you be contented what you have, rejoice, be with family, things like that, right? And so somebody can see a young man just walking on the road and say, what man, what are you doing? This and this and this. And really want to just favor him without strings attached. And those things are more difficult now because the values have changed. Contentment is no more a big deal. It is how much I can make, how fast I can make it, at whose detriment, right? So do you want to leave your children into that world alone to make meaning of it, just for you to have the bragging rights to say, oh, my son is okay, and you don't really want to care what the son is going through? And from the way you answer your children, they know what you are interested in. So let me say, from the questions you ask them, they know what you are interested in. They know whether this person really, whether they just want to be sure that I send this. So first of all, there's something in our culture that says, if you send your dad money, he would respect you. And there's not, do you get that?
Yeah.
But also, I want to be a dad that wants to find out how this money is being made. How can I be of help? Who are the people I can send to you to make the business better? Is this business really that profitable? I hope you are not spending your profits. These are things that, so when those questions are asked, the children know, oh, okay, my parents really want this thing to work. Do you get? But just, your mother's 60th birthday is in 2 months. I hope you know. So you people gather everybody and do what is needful. Just okay, that just wants us. Once money big, is fine. Do you know that's the impression? If parents don't know, that's what they're passing across. You don't know that's what they're doing.
So they will try to.
They will just try to. And so you never know what this child is pressured with. And sometimes the business is doing so well, and tomorrow is not doing so well.
Yeah.
Something can happen. A government policy can come out.
Yeah.
But if everything at home is not caring about how will this business succeed, how will this thing you are laying your hands, how will this career move forward? It's just the demand. The children can feel it from you, and then they only just want to perform for you because nobody wants to be a failure in the eyes of their parents. Because at the end of the day, we still want the approval of our parents. Really, for men, their dad.
Yeah.
So you don't want your dad to look at you and like, you get. But now there's all of that in the African context where you be a man, you can't be a man, be a man, and you're not saying, oh, this is what I went through my time. How is it in your own time? In our time, you gave us this, they gave us government grant, they gave us this. How is it happening now? I saw this on the news. How are you coping? That's a family that is a father or a mother that is interested. Do you understand? And so I believe that you being interested in the progress of your children, even if you don't have the capital to set them up, you have something, you have values to give to them. You have to, when you're not doing it as you're in charge of their business. They still run their businesses, for instance, but you want to impact, you want to add to it. And they will know when they see that, they know that this is a safe space. They can always, there's a story of somebody that was involved in some businesses, not entirely pure, just like this, what do you call this thing? This scheme.
Okay.
You take money from somebody and give somebody else. And so he got into a fix.
Wow.
And the money wasn't, some things he put money on wasn't coming back again.
Wow.
And he was trying to get money to pay. And nobody at home knew that this is what this guy was going through. Everything, when it was working, it was good. You know, everybody was looking, everybody was happy about it. But he had a family that they didn't care about those things. And so it got to a point where people say, "Oh, yeah, to get out of this, please come and take this loan, come and do this, come and do that." Say, "I'm not going." Like, I'm going to more bondage. You want to give me more bondage, come out of this bondage. He had to open up to his family and say, "This is seriously, this is what you're going through. Or you come back home." Did meeting to resettle the debt slowly. Do you understand? But because there was a place for this person to even call, how many people have that safe space? They hear, "Oh, somebody committed suicide." How? Did you get? Is it coming? Like, it's not coming from
someone just happened 2 days ago.
So when you say a man jumped from 2000, when you go to the story, like, does this guy not have a shield over him? And I believe that that's why God revealed himself to us as a father. Because that thing is there. That shield has to be there. It doesn't end when university ends. When it's always there. I always have a place that no matter what, I can go back to.
All right. Finally, let's bring it home, like you say.
Okay.
Oh, I said finally before. Okay. Finally, the second finally. All right. Can we just bring a balance to it? You know, with creating an enabling environment and the overprotection that, you know, enabling laziness. You know, I've seen 36-year-olds that they don't care. You know, they have no drive because they just believe everything is sorted and all that. So how do you think, or what's the best way to balance it out? You know, in trying to be enablers as parents, how do we not overindulge? You know, children.
Well, I'm still researching that in terms of I'm still looking at people's stories, listening to stories as well, and in the future I'm going to have a podcast on that as well for rich kids. You know, I want to really understand their story, in the aspect, because what you're saying is it's a big deal.
It is.
A lot of people. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we're just laughing at somebody, grown-up man. He has a business. He's not paying salary, but he's still paying for his boat club. And he's still paying for his boat club. Yeah, boat club membership.
That's his priority.
Yeah, I didn't know the person. I just said that person definitely a rich man's child.
Yeah.
And when the person I was talking to his boss, he said, "How did you know?" I can tell something. I'm not drawing it as all of like rich people are lazy, but I'm still doing more research. I'm still learning, right? Okay. But it's what you said is very possible. Very possible to have everything sorted and then still and not be laid back. What else? But what I find out is many times when there's no vision, there's nothing to wrong with.
Vision.
So many parents don't, for instance, want their children to feel like they have so much money so that they will not be laid back.
Yeah.
But in vision, sometimes what you have can never be enough for the vision. So I was speaking to somebody, he has a hotel, and we're talking about something like this, that, oh, how the children not get lazy. It's okay. He was like, he can't give his children this because they're not responsible enough and this and this. And our conversation went on to say, "Sir, have you ever shared your vision for life with them?" Perhaps, I don't know your vision, sir, but maybe your vision is to build a chain of 300 hotels. Right? And God has helped you to build one hotel. If your children are running with that vision, do you think they think that the money in your account is enough for the vision?
Do you understand? Early enough
to know that this is seed. This is seed, right? So it's not by keeping how much you have and all of that. In fact, there are signs that you just know you are sorted. So one side of it is the fact that there's still no vision.
They understand the concept.
Do you get? There's still no vision for the family. You've not openly spoken to your kids and said, "This is when I was young, this is what I wanted to build, and this is where we're going to, and this is this." You've not said anything to them. They just grew up with all the luxuries. Driver, this, latest iPhones, this and that. Do you get? And they're like, "What am I?" In fact, I feel like it's harder for a child that comes from comfort to have vision, to be driven about life. What am I driving to? Like, what am I
Driving
how much
towards.
you can give them to drive towards?
Yes,
Do you get, like, if you want to make money, right? You're like, oh well, I must make this money.
I'm a
And
living
then,
witness that hunger is one of the best sources of inspiration. I'm a living witness.
you know, and so I feel for children of well-to-do people too, because you have everything.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, I want to eat yam and egg. Second person says, I want to eat indomie. You know, some people say, oh, well, you know, some people say, whatever I cook is what I eat today.
Exactly.
That's not in some people's homes. You just wake up and call the chef and say whatever you want in the morning. There's a car to drive. There's a place to sleep. In fact, there are houses in different states. You get, that's the lifestyle. It's not trying to be something. It's just the basic. So what does this person have to wake up to aspire to? And that's why we cannot just keep running as believers. We can't just keep running after money without vision. It will show at the end. You'll be so rich, but then that riches is what will be the downfall of your children.
There will be no meaning.
There's nothing. There's no meaning. There's nothing to run after again. There's no meaning to it. You're not even present as a father. They don't even know you as a father. So these things are very, very, very crucial in terms of raising the child. Then in terms of economics, you need to start to give these children the power to make choices very early enough. From my GSS1, my mom has always given us the power to decide what we are buying to school. Okay, money to buy things, provisions. My mom gives us. First time she gave us, I bought cereal. Because that's the first time I was eating Cocoa Pops, this one. So I bought cereal. I didn't buy milk. So I guess she has seen it, but she didn't say anything. She already had planned for, but she didn't say anything. I went to school. I opened my locker. I loved, as I saw the arrangement of those boxes. I said, confirm. Now, time to eat now. I called the chop, Rice Krispies alone. Chop, Frosties. 2 weeks after, she sent milk to me. But that was a big lesson for me. Next time, I bought my Nasco. I bought my milk. I started making choices that early. Financial choices. But you just follow some rich guys, what do you want? I need a new tap. Okay, just buy a new tap. If it's £1,000 you have for them for vacation, give them the £1,000. Then they start making financial decisions. That's how to train them in finances. But the vision still has to come. Yeah. That's some of the things I have to say for that.
Thank you so much. And there we have it. You mentioning this, I just remembered what one of the most prominent speakers about, the family life, teenage and all of that, Mr. Praise for Owe. He would mention how every family needs to have a vision and they should have core values. Values that guide. In fact, those core values will determine the metrics for punishment, when punishment is needed. That, okay, these are our values. So this thing you faulted, you just broke this value, this principle that this family is built upon. And I think it's everything centers around it. And if there's anything I'm taking out of this, is that really every family should have visions. Of course, inspired, right? Gotten from a place of prayer, and it is job of every father.
Yes,
actually, and I think this generation, why we need to have conversations like this is because we already know that there's a gap, on the family front. There's a gap on the fathering front, and I believe that that's one of the narratives that is changing in this generation of ours. In this generation of fathers, we are more informed. We are aware of certain things that have gone wrong, and God is helping us make better choices. Also, God is also placing us in productive and progressive communities, and if you're a man out there, you need to really, really take up this responsibility and stand up and fight for your family. You cannot start. What is money without vision? Now I'm thinking about it. There's no meaning to life. You just, okay, anything I want, I get it. But to what end? Go help each and every one of us. All right, so there you have it. And to those who do not have parents. Now, this might sound like, a jab and all of that, but really that's not the intention of this. Obviously, this episode is for those that are starting families, also that are building something that will last. Definitely, we're not even speaking to those that have already established families. We cannot change anybody that, but we can only speak to our own generation. You need to begin with a vision. First with your wife, with your partner, wife, your husband, and then your children are born into it. All right, that's it on this episodes with Akolade, and we hope you learned a thing or two. See you in the next episode. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Eshu. Thank you so much.